Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Dicey Dungeons. Last episode we played Witch 2, and I did go back and look at the footage, and I am convinced that it's not my fault that we died there, right? I did play badly, but then I actually lucked out and should have won, but then, like, I clicked in one place and the game put the dice in another, and it seems pretty clear from looking at the footage. So I choose to give myself credit for having finished Witch 2, and we're going to move on to Jester 2. This is actually my second attempt to record this, because I got like all the way to the end of floor 4 or something, and then realized I had forgotten to hit the start recording button. So here we are having another go. And of course I've now seen I've seen this episode before. And you guys maybe have if you've watched someone else's thing or you've been playing yourself. But basically we're like warrior. We start with warrior's equipment and we pick up ordinary warrior equipment, not jester equipment. But we have like a deck instead of a set of 6 slots. So like we cycle through the cards. In that way, right? You don't have a fixed thing. You draw cards like Jester, but they're warrior cards. And of course, the two share some equipment, but you get different things than you would on an ordinary Jester run. So I also I spent all this time waxing poetic about like max 3. Oh come on. Well, okay. Good. Waxing poetic on like. So I think this is going to be my last episode of Dicey Dungeons. If you guys are enjoying it, as I suppose you are, since here you are watching this, like, what is it, like episode 12 or something? 10? I don't know. Must be about 12, because we did one episode with each, but we lost a couple times, so like, I don't know, 14? 13? I don't know. Go count it up if you want. Anyway, but, and I've had fun, but I'm kind of like done with Dicey Dungeons in the same way that I was. I mean, should I guess like this is probably gonna be better than 2, right? Sure. I could kill him obviously by furying either of these 2 attacks, but like there's no way he's gonna kill me, and I might as well save the fury. Anyway, like in the same way that I was done with Slay the Spire, I feel done with Dicey Dungeons quite a bit sooner. It's a cool, like, twist on the not exactly formula of Slay the Spire. And I don't even really think Slay the Spire was like the first game to try to do like a card roguelike, but it did it really well. And Dicey Dungeons kind of looks a lot like that, right? What's the difference? Why did this one hold my attention for less time? Basically, like, there's a lot less variety. It looks like there's more because you have 6 characters and they each have like these various episodes. What exactly should I do here? Like, I guess re-roll the 4 to see if I can get a 5 or 6. I don't know. Just put the sword in here and double up on staff, I think. There's all these like surface level variety things. But ultimately, like, most combat feels about the same. You have, like, a few pieces of equipment that all just basically say, like, do some damage. And you try to, like, optimize what dice you put in where. And, like, that's fun. That's kind of like what you expected when you got the game, right? But I probably had lethal a while ago and just stopped rolling in case I threw it away. I don't know. I'm sort of more thinking about what I'm saying than what I'm doing. Which brings me to another point, is that, like, Dicey Dungeons, the early game is always so easy. Not always, right? We did die on, like, the second fight on one run, I think, Inventor, right? Or almost, oh no, it was that Thief run that we almost died very, very early, but got super lucky and ended up winning. Okay, so these are kind of good. Like, Taser seems fine. So you kind of like grind through a bunch of stuff where you're not really being challenged at all. And then you get to like the late game where stuff actually matters. And that's kind of like annoying. I would prefer to be challenged, that's why I'm playing a roguelike, and so like having this stage of the game where nothing really matters is kind of lame. What do we do here? Just reroll 1 and see what happens. 3 goes here. And then we double up on staff? I don't know, why double up, right? Like, we're healing at the end of this, so no rush. Yeah, let me just bump this. Anyway, so the beginning of the game doesn't really matter at all. And, dodge is not gonna help you, buddy. And there's not as much variety. There's like, you have all these characters, but they all play basically the same. Obviously you build them differently, but like the combat is fairly similar. You set up some equipment and you're like, this is what I'm gonna run with, and you tend to take similar equipment every time because some of it's good, some of it's bad, and you don't take the bad stuff. And there's not that large a pool of things. Good old taser. Let's just double up the taser, like why not? He's weak to it, so... Great, I was looking for that 5. And, you always fight exactly the same number of enemies on each, like, floor, and they're the same strength, you get roughly the same amount of loot. You don't have choices about what you do. Which is something that I really miss from Slay the Spire. Is like, I feel like relics really make a huge difference. Do I wanna... I mean, this isn't lethal. So, I wanna reroll this 6 and try to get a 4, basically? 1's not great. 2 is not... Oh, 2 is enough, because a 2 here. And then, yeah, I just wanted anything odd. And in fact, but anything odd would work too, because I get bumped in. Right, relics make you reevaluate everything else in the game, and you don't get a choice about relics, which I think is really important. I mean, mostly you don't, right? You can go shopping or whatever. They're this aspect you can't really control, and which makes every game actually different. And you get to choose, like, oh, you want to play more aggressive. You get some relic that's like, oh, I want to play more aggressively, so you like pick a path with more elites and fewer fires or whatever, right? And you can't do that here. You have to fight the same enemies every time. You don't really get a choice about it. What's the deal here? I guess I just take Spike Shield and bump this to reroll a 1 into a 4 is fine, I guess. So, anyway, I mean, it's a fun game, but I'm like I said, kind of done. Okay, good. He did play the turn, I think exactly correctly, in fact. So, well done on that. Well, okay, what do we get? A bump. So I could put a 6 in here and bump the 4 to a 5. In which case I might as well re-roll this first and see if I get something somehow compelling. Okay, well, nothing was compelling, it turns out. I don't know what would have made me do anything different, but... So anyway, I just kind of wanted to, like, do one more episode, get through 2 episodes with every character, to give the series some like sort of closure. But it also gave us some time to talk about like why it was. What exactly do I want here? I don't know. That seems good. 6 and a 4. And then reroll the 6 and 3 thing. I probably should have. I don't know. This is fine though. He's burned, but only on 1 die. So I guess he can use 1 die to unshock and then use the unburned die to do something. Oh, he didn't even need to unshock because he didn't hit that. Oh well. Yeah. So I don't remember what I was talking about. Probably something about like why it was that we're doing this episode. Level up in 2, so I guess I'll just fight this guy. Copycat. What does he do with Jester stuff? At the beginning of turn, he'll copy the 3 things I have up or something? No. Just chose 3 at random? Are they going to change every turn? Who knows? It's a mystery. I guess I'll keep re-rolling these, try to get something a bit higher. Now, like, putting these in here and... I don't know. Reroll this? Sure. Keeping the 3 might have been better, but then again, it might have turned into a 5, so you never know. I don't know why you... I guess it didn't matter when you bumped, huh? Because it just gave you 1 more pip and that's all you needed. Fine. So he has the same 3. Interesting. Do I Fury the Taser? Shock more stuff? It seems okay, but also like shocking bump might not matter. And shocking staff is not that amazing? I don't know. Get in there. Okay, a 4. Yeah, let's Fury the Taser, I guess. I don't know. Clearly should have Furied the staff. Oops, hang on, I accidentally resized the window there. Come on. Does that look about right? That looks about right. Yeah, I mean, the staff would have done more damage. Wow, spending a die to unlock bump, huh? I almost died here. I didn't actually die, right? Right. And we're all healed up. See, like, the heal up mechanic at the end of the level is another thing that I think is, like, really not good about this game. Flip a dice upside down. On average, I'll have some reason to use this, and I get the dice back, so it's, like, fine. Right, and maybe I want to make an even odd or an odd even, or I want to turn a small one big, or occasionally a big one small. There'll be something to do with a spatula. I would never take it if I had like a fixed equipment deck slot or a fixed equipment, set of 6 slots. But with a flexible deck, where you get to draw another piece of equipment after using it, it's like an easy take. I don't know. Let's go check out the shop before I do this. Add 4 shield. Recover 3 health. This is the kind of thing the spatula is good for, right? Like, if it's too big, you make it small. And then you bump it to make it a 3, for example, right? I don't know if I actually want Healing Crystal. It's probably, on average, not really worth spending a dice to heal a bit. So, get out of here. We'll just go upgrade, I don't know. What does this do? More uses? 3 uses. Wow. That actually seems pretty great. Like, you turn an even to an odd, and I don't know. You turn a small one big for sword and a big one small for taser? I don't know. What's taser do if you upgrade it? Maximum 5? It's kind of nice. Sure. What was I saying? I don't know. It's easy to lose your train of thought when you're not like talking about exactly the stuff that's happening in the game, because like that is the most immediate thing and it can kind of interrupt you. And that's great. That's what you guys are here for, right? But it means that if I'm trying to talk about like something else, like why it is that I'm, you know, hanging up my he really doesn't care about being shocked. Hanging up my hat on this game that let's see, what do I want to do here? I guess spatula this 1 into a 6? No. No such luck. 6 and 3 here, 3 here. Ah. I can still try to spatula a 1 into a 6. Yeah. And now I can trigger everything. I don't get the 5, but that's life. Oh, wow. That's a great roll. For us, not for him. Yeah, 6 please. And then kill him. Easy enough. Still nothing from the shop, right? Yeah. Healing Crystal could be okay, but I think I'd rather just do more damage and kill the enemies. Okay, so here's a super alchemist. I'm not sure exactly how early you start getting super enemies. We haven't seen any before this, as I recall. So I thought it might be like episode 3 or something, but maybe it's Jester 2. Because on the first attempt to record this video, I also ran into a super enemy. What's the deal here? So, might as well like re-roll a 2. It's a 3. Not ideal. Reroll another 2. It's a 6. I love 6s. Probably bump it, and then I can flip the 1 to do a bunch of damage. 6 here. So what is the deal with... Really? She doesn't get any of the other potions, and she gets 3 dice, so she just like immediately turns into a bear? Okay. It's a weird enemy. Why not just start out as a bear? And they're gonna recover 12 health. So in one way, damage we do this turn doesn't matter that much, but I think we can actually do more than 12. And the other point is that like our shield doesn't matter that much either, because the enemy's like gonna spend a bunch of their dice turning into a bear and not on attacking. So I don't know exactly what to say about that. Let's shock this actually. That seems great. Maybe you can't turn into a bear yet. And then I don't know, reroll the 3? Well, the only thing that could possibly be better than a 3 would be a 5 if I want damage here. Otherwise, I already have the perfect turn. Like if I wanted shield here. But if I want damage here, I already have the maximum amount of damage plus activating staff. And I think I do want damage, right? So why reroll? This could hit a 1, which I don't want. Alright, so you do get to turn into a bear, but you don't get to attack me. And we did well more than 12 health, so... Let's deal with this super bear now. You have 3 dice, and you basically have 2 broadswords. Pretty strong. We should probably try to kill you before anything bad happens, huh? Yeah, flip the 1, please. Reroll these into large numbers, please. There we go. 5 and a 3 is good enough, I think. Obviously, it's good enough to trigger staff. It's just a question of whether that's what I want to do or if I should try to do something else. I wonder if I maybe actually should have shielded, since the enemy's definitely not dead this turn and almost certainly dead next turn. So, like, some more shield would have been nice. Yeah, that would have been a better play. I should have shielded and not staffed. Okay, well, lesson learned. I'll apply that in next episode, haha. Battle Axe is almost certainly fine, especially with, like, Spatula, right? If we get numbers that are too big, we can just smallerize them. I'll take, well, oh, that's a rotten apple. Well, I definitely want to fight that before I heal. Ow. I think we just double up the Battle Axe for 8. Sure. Reroll the 3? There you go. Exactly what I was looking for. Well, he shouldn't get anywhere near. I mean, I guess you could reduce. You could get lucky and reduce my health in half. No, you couldn't. 'Cause, well, yeah, I guess if I shocked this and you rolled like 6, 6, 4, you could Rotten Core me. And like having some shield, like I could bump, right? Some shield would be nice on for that. But I think I just like I don't want to shield against the 1 damage you're likely to do. I'd rather just get more confidence that you'll be dead next turn. Wow. So, A, good thing we shocked Rotten Core, but B, it was actually, even that gigantic roll was a little too small, even if we hadn't shocked, right? It was only 15. So, 5 and 3 here? Okay, mega dead. Good, nice rotten apple fight. We took 1 damage. And we should be okay against the beetle at such a high health amount. Trade spiked shield for a shovel. I mean, I like gaining shield, but I have a lot of, you know, between spatula and bump, I have a reasonable shot at getting a 6 most of the time. Like out of my 4 dice or whatever. So I think I will take this deal. Like, getting weaken is 6 damage and weaken is usually better than 5 block, probably. Bump the 3 into a 4 for Battle Axe? Let's reroll a bit first. Maybe I won't need to, right? I'll keep the 6s. They are probably more useful on average than other dice values. See, I told you I could get 6s. Huh. I mean, I could make a 6 out of this, but that doesn't actually do any damage. So I'd rather just do 1 and shock him. I would lose the I couldn't turn it into a 6. If I turned it into a 6, I couldn't taser. And I believe this is the end of the deck as well, so it's not like we're going to get anything better that wants a 6. Yeah. Just go in for the shock. Make his deck pretty garbage. I like all these 5s, I think. Just Sword for 5 to get access to my taser and the rest of the deck. Just staff is fine, I guess. It's not amazing. But yeah, if I were gonna remove a card from this deck, it would be staff, I think. I now have enough cards that I don't really need a dice sink, and sometimes it gets in the way of getting to my good cards. Yeah, that should do it. Alright, and we leveled up. Just one more floor to go before the boss. Ooh. Well, Shield Bash is just absolute junk if you don't have any way to gain shield. So I will upgrade. What do you get for upgrading this? Normally, you just get, like, it becomes small, but that's not relevant as Jester. Max 5, interesting. On even Flick Weaken? Yeah. Oh, it's already upgraded, right? Let's... I mean, Sword is just 1 extra damage. Staff is 2, but it's harder to activate. Spatula and Bump are kind of cute because they're, like... You tend to be able to use them to gain gain extra damage, right? And sometimes it's just 1, so you put like a 5 in instead of a 4. But sometimes it's a lot because like you get to Spatula something totally useless like a 1 into a 6 and then sword it, right? Or a 2 into a 5. So those utility ones could be better than the actual damage guys. Just to get extra uses out of them. But on the other hand, sometimes we just like need to use them to get them out of the way to get to the attacks. I don't know. I'll just take Shovel, make sure the enemy's weak more often. One reason I took it is because it's easy to get 6s, but it's not like guaranteed. Making it even just makes it a bit more... Oh! Ah! I saw level 5 here and was like, wait, were we already on floor 5? But no, the floor is over here. Right. I thought the game had somehow made a mistake by rendering level 5 before I had finished going down the stairs. But no. Yeah. Let's bump this up to a 5, I guess. Well, let's re-roll some 1s. I should have done that first. Probably just want to stack this stuff. Ooh, maybe not. I should re-roll here, because a 4 is actually the worst we could get now, in terms of sword. With access to Spatula, what you want is distance from 3.5, rather than actual, like, magnitude. So, 3 and 4 are the worst. This can't be any worse than it is now. And indeed, we improved it a little bit. Now, that meant we used up Spatula and don't have it next turn, but that's, like, fine. We draw the deck usually anyway. Oof, I don't like all these big numbers. But, you know, ultimately, you know, you get to Spatula these, and I don't know, let's Fury this. And we get to reroll the 1s. It's not all that bad to be frozen a bit. Should I reroll yet? I should probably just put the 5, bump the 5 into and put it in sword first and see what comes next. Oh, yeah, Maybe I should have rerolled 1 first and then put the 5 in here. I guess it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it adds up to roughly the same thing. Oh, you're dead. Great. Let's see what's for sale. Another Spatula and an upgrade. And we can actually get both if we don't want... Actually, we can get them both and get the apple, right? As long as we buy the apple first. Buy one of these, then fight something, then buy the apple, then finish the floor, then buy the last thing, right? So I think what we should do is fight something, get this, so that we have another option when upgrading. then go upgrade and buy the apple. Or, I don't know, maybe we don't need to buy the apple yet. Maybe we just eat the ones lying on the floor. Actually, let's just flip this. I don't know, maybe that's silly. Maybe I should have tried re-rolling 2 a few more times to confirm that what I want is to flip a 1, but whatever. Yeah, the staff is really seeing no use at all. So if I were to remove a card, it would definitely be that one. But on the other hand, it's not really in the way. It just means I have fewer... I have only 2 options at any given time instead of 3. Which is like, I'm pretty flexible with them. Doesn't super matter what order I play my stuff in. You know, a little it does because of the bumps and spatulas and stuff. But not a ton. Not the greatest set of rolls here, huh? Yikes. Oh, I maybe should have tasered first so that I could bump into the battle axe, getting bonus effect from it. Oh, I did it wrong. I should have... I forgot about the shovel. Alright. Saved. Saved. This is all perfect, all planned. And actually, staff might become better soon, because when we finish this floor, we'll level up again. And that means I'll get another dice, as I recall. I guess re-rolling the one is fine. And that... Right now, I'm like just barely spending all my dice on my other stuff, and so having a staff to dump the excess dice into is like fine, I guess. But also, I could probably like buy something that will be useful. Oh, let's just kill him. Yeah. I don't know. So, staff might become a little more useful, but it might not. Do 2 damage, reusable. Well, this is just a worse dice dump than staff is by a lot. How come the one in the store is worth 10 and these are worth 8? Am I crazy? It says 4. But 10, sorry, wrong number. 10's the number I was thinking of course. Yeah, let's grab this. Also grab an upgrade for like... Sword? No, bump or spatula is better than that. Let's take spatula. Actually, we're about to gain another spatula, but like, I don't know, sure, why not? This game does have like excellent music though. A little repetitive because you like hear the same thing for so long, but it is great. I'll just re-roll this one a bit. I don't know, I have like spatula. I should just I have 3 spatulas. Flip the 2 into a 5 seems alright. Yeah, and there's my staff, so I think that's the end of my deck, so I may as well just flip this. Oh no, I have a sword, alright. Where did all my other dice go then? I guess I still have the same number of dice as I did before. Just because I have more spatulas doesn't mean I have more dice. So there you go, 25 damage. And what? We stopped him from doing anything? Oh, we put maxes on the 2-handed sword. And he didn't have any 2s. Wow, max 3, and he drew gigantic dice. But he wasn't able to use any of them. That's nice. What do I want to bump? I don't know, let's just re-roll the 4? Because 1s and 2s are actually great for when I get to my spatula. 5's fine, I'll just bump it to a 6 and put it in sword. Maybe I should... But right, no, I can still flip... Oh, this is kind of fun. No, I'll try to get something better out of this. And keep the 2 for Taser. I should have kept the 2 for Weaken. What was I thinking? Alright, not my finest hour. Uses this turn. Does that mean that if I leave it up, it'll go back to 3 uses, or will it stay at 2? I think it'll go back to 3, right? Not that it matters. I would just be putting a 5 in and putting... I don't know, I guess I should do that and see if I draw something that makes me reevaluate my plan, but yeah, I didn't think so. Alright. Definitely not my best play. Put some damage. You know, could I have prevented it? You can say. And it's super, super dead. Right, now we get another upgrade. Spent on, I don't know. Battle Axe? Sword? Probably Battle Axe. I don't know, I already have 2 things that kind of want 5s. Battle Axe is fine. He'll grab the last 2 apples to guarantee I make it through the Singer fight. It seems unlikely that I would die, but like, why take the chance? I think we double up the Battle Axe, probably? I don't know, doubling up on Weaken might be better. Oh, I think I want to bump a 6. That's actually great, because 1s are really great with all these spatulas I have lying around. I mean, I don't know, maybe I should have bumped a 4 into Battle Axe, but I don't think so. Yeah, let's just Fury the 8 damage. Do 6. Reroll a 3. Flip it into a 5. Turn this into a 6 seems pretty outstanding. And now somehow I wound up with a dice remaining. Ah, because I bumped my 6. Yeah. So bumping the 6 got me an extra die, which I was able to turn into a 6, and like that gave me a bunch of progress towards staff. So that's, I should try to use bump on 6s if I can, because 1s are especially valuable. The Weaken obviously didn't work very well. The Weaken is something she didn't end up using. Oh, minimum 4. That's highly rude. We should be able to kill her anyway, though, right? I could do 4 and then 2, but that's not lethal. So let's re-roll this 1, since I can't flip them anymore. Re-roll a 3. Again. Awful. Okay. Alright, good. Yeah, easy Singer fight, and we're all set to go into the boss. After we buy this last spatula. I don't know. Maybe there is such a thing as too many spatulas. But it also like gives us the ability to, for example, like, say we don't have any 6s, but we really want to bump one. We could like flip a 1 into a 6, bump it, and then flip them both back. Or flip the 1 back into a 6, and like, I don't know. Alright, yeah, whatever, Buster. So like, this is kind of the nightmare draw, right? You don't want all these spatulas all at once. But actually, it's kind of fine. Like, I just put a 6. And, like, now I only have the 1 spatula, so I take it back. It was highly great. Obviously, we want the Battle Axe to be large rather than the Taser, since it doesn't super matter. And I can always flip a 2 into a 5 anyway. Probably should do that. Should I reroll this or something? No, I'm gonna want to reroll a 4 probably. Actually, let's not reroll. Let's just take. Yeah, I don't need no stinking rerolls. I can just trigger everything. So I have like a total damage per turn cap. Like, it's just I didn't add that many attacks to my deck, but I can trigger all of them at pretty much every turn, and they do enough damage. Not the greatest set of dice to have, but you know, we can make the ones good as soon as we get to Spatula, right? So let's reroll a 3. I want to make sure I have an even number around in case I don't get anything good out of all these rerolls and I can shovel him. Honestly though, he doesn't care about being weakened, right? Yeah, not really. I don't know, let's just weaken him and see what happens. That's another reason to have kept a 2, perhaps? Wow, these rolls are terrible. Yeah? You know, double this up, I guess. Okay, kind of a crummy turn, but clearly gonna be enough to win. Yeah. Exactly how do we lethal him? I don't know. Does it matter? 3s are pretty bad. Let's just spend 1 on staff here. Bumping 6s is good. See, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, the combat is all kind of samey. There's not a lot of decisions to make here that are super highly impactful. Put a 5 in here. I appreciate that, like, in Slay the Spire, for example, like, your health pool is large enough that the damage you take every fight matters. Whereas here, most of the time, you, like, are leveling up often enough that it doesn't matter that you, like, missed a little bit here or there. Slay the Spire, you don't get a lot of full heals, especially once you get to the Ascension level where, like, you only heal partially after boss fights. Anyway, I've talked a lot about Slay the Spire this episode. I don't mean to, like, say it's the most amazing game ever, but I feel like it does a better job of this game than this game does. Yeah, I mean, what did I end up paying for it on Steam anyway? Like, it wasn't super expensive. It was worth the money. I had fun with it for sure. But I don't know. I kind of like the old ones, right? The old game. It doesn't feel as roguelike-y because every run is kind of the same, whereas kind of the point of a roguelike is variety. It's kind of weird how adding like more random number generation made things feel more the same instead of more different. I don't know. Maybe you guys will disagree. It's a fun game. If you want to play it, pick it up. Feel free. You've kind of seen at this point what the game is, and if you like it, then you will probably enjoy it if you buy it. So I don't know. It's not like they don't pay me for this or anything. I had fun with it. I'm kind of done. If you guys are dying for more, you know, go buy it. And if not, then great. Congratulations. You won't get any more. Anyway, that's all for this episode and this series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.